Alright, what's good, guys? Not gonna lie, I am a little bit behind on the game at the moment. I'm about 10 minutes behind the game as it is live. So, it's just a bit behind. But it's all good. We're gonna catch up at half time and I get back to the live game. But we're gonna get into it now. Scotland versus Argentina. And I got back Scotland for this, so let's get into it and start the game.
Today, the last of the November test for Scotland. One more for Argentina against the Barbarians next weekend. Paul Williams of New Zealand is the referee. And a countdown to the last test for Scotland this November.
It's been a good autumn for Scotland, to be honest with you.
Again,
they've played very well. They got unlucky against South Africa.
And Scotland, for all their attacking flair, Argentina backing up. Still a maul, says Paul Williams. An advantage to Scotland. Goes a bit wrong for Argentina there. And Scotland with a very early penalty, and Brian Moore and Chris Patterson alongside today.
Well, a very efficient, confident start by Scotland, gathering the...
As I've said, I am 10 minutes behind the live. 10 minutes behind it as it is live. So you're going to have to bear with me. You guys will know the score before me because I am 10 minutes behind. But I hope none of you will ruin the scoreline for me. But at half time, I can get back to the live coverage of it, and then it'll be sorted.
Today, and worked very swiftly away from the line out for Scotland. And then Hamish Watson, try scorer against South Africa, taken down initially by Matera. There's Hastings getting the pass away quickly. Passes nicely on to Kinghorn, who's so quick. Kinghorn gliding his way into the 22. And
Scotland straight away. Straight away, all over up.
Down and set himself forward again.
I did say I fancy Scotland to win this.
Adam Hastings.
And what a tackle.
Flying in from Matthias Moroni. It just slows a bit, and the referee having a long look, but it's there for Scotland and there for Bergen.
Scotland got a bit lucky there. They could have been.
Gives it on to Adam Hastings. Again, gives it to Brown just as he's taken, but Scotland had the advantage, and now they have the penalty. And the man penalised was Santiago Medrano, and Scotland.
And it's kicked off.
They're getting involved afterwards, and Moroni is rather on his own there. The troops arrive. Where we go? Well, decision here.
I'm pretty sure they'll attempt the 3 points, I think, Andrew. Goal. Let's see what Paul Williams has to say.
We've got a penalty here for an offside, but we don't need guys running in, okay? Alright? Number 3, offside.
Number 3, Medrano offside. Scotland, for all the rain and the inclement conditions, have tried to
been a good autumn so far for
touches as a first receiver with Stuart Hogg.
Rugby in general.
Adam Hastings.
Been a very good autumn.
And Finn Russell has recognised ends or standoffs, and the first 2 times Scotland got the ball, it was Stuart Hogg who's at first receiver, and they were looking to play on the edge of that narrow Argentine defence.
It's interesting because almost everybody inside Murrayfield of a Scottish persuasion wants to see this kind of stuff, wants to see the attacking, but Scotland have to treat this as if it were a year's time in the World Cup, and so get the win. 3 points is what you have to take when it's on offer.
Well, the two are kind of mutual. Scotland have to perform well to win. What gives them the best chance of winning is playing that wide game but with accuracy.
Yeah. And Scotland are capable of it.
So
3 points.
Is what to do, and Scotland have the
3 minutes
3
in.
points reward for their very bright opening 3 minutes, and they lead at Murrayfield.
Well, no point in deciding what you do points-wise is the reliability or otherwise of your goalkeeper. In Greg Laidlaw, although he has a limited range, within that range he is very, very reliable.
And Hogg galloping onto that one. Matera gets him down. Fraser Brown carrying with Gilchrist and Gray alongside.
Time to use, please.
Laidlaw being told to use it by Paul Williams, so sends it down the way of Boffelli.
No, 6 out.
And fullback sets it back well. Bit of a standstill for Lavanini to make something of. Goes Bertrano and Sanchez, and then on through Creevy and forwards carry. Very deep from Argentina, and now taken on by Ortega Decio. Go forward, so Moroni gathers it up, but a fairly ponderous attack from Argentina, then the knock on.
What it shows that any side struggles when you hit them on the gain line and they have to play with static ball.
It's unlike Nicolas Sanchez as well to stand so deep. He's one of the 10s, the first receivers in the world that takes the ball to the line at every opportunity. It was Decio, Ortega Decio, who decided to take it on, but then it was inaccurate after there. The knock on coming, but the Argentinian defence, when Scotland had the ball, has been very narrow. And that time, the Scottish defence was wide. It was able to come up and shut off all the options for Sanchez.
Well, there we are, pack weights sometimes take the pack weights with a large.
There we go, I just put it in the chat.
But, fairly close.
I'm 10 minutes behind live coverage, so I'll be catching up at half time. Don't ruin the first half for me. We're into the 6th minute right now. Scotland lead 3-0.
Really good attacking opportunity for Scotland here. Paul Williams laying the law down in there, but you've got all the creation and playmakers and strike runners, Stuart Hogg and Blair Kinghorn in there as well. You can see the 3 Argentinian defenders pretty narrow. There's then a gap between Moroni and Majano.
Obviously, I will be watching the Wales game.
The simple ball free kick, and
later.
Hastings has it now and gives it on to Kinghorn coming off the wing. Stabs it forward.
And at half time, I'm going to catch up on the live coverage and I'll see what the scores are in the other games.
Argentina's forward.
Because the England game, I think, kicks off at 3. New Zealand's game is actually, well, they've already reached half time for New Zealand, so.
Bertrand was under real pressure, the Argentinian scrum half. Back it comes to Adam Hastings now. Not much doing there as he's.
It'll be interesting to see how New Zealand bounce back from that defeat against Ireland.
Johnny Gray. Hastings gives it on to Fraser Brown again, so often the ball carrier, the hooker.
And obviously Ireland got a nice game to close out their autumn campaign against
return, but Hogg has it.
The USA.
Hastings alongside. Up it goes, and Hogg will chase this down himself. Just a touch too far, and time for Emiliano Boffelli. Very exciting prospect at full back for Pumas.
Not supporting. No. You're leaving on the man. That's fine.
That's fine, says the referee. As
good counter working. Penalty
to Argentina.
Not supporting body weight.
And Simon Bergen was the man who was trying to show that he was trying to support his sizable body weight.
Well, I was about to say that Scotland have done very well so far in slowing down nearly every Argentinian breakdown. On that occasion, just a bit of over-exuberance.
Hamish Watson was in the tackle before the breakdown before, and he was actually having dialogue with the referee as he was in a really good position, and then he got his hands up. But this is the one that's penalised, I think, Brian. Simon Bergen getting over.
Yeah, once you go on one foot.
It's fine initially, but then he does lose his body weight forward.
So Agustin Creevy, Argentinian hooker, was the captain under Daniel Ricard, and before that, but Ledesma has given those honours to Matera. Good takedown by Guido Petti. Not the biggest second, though, usually a back rower. Good shot from Scotland, but Rodrigo Bruni still has it for Argentina. And Bertrano goes only to his forwards, and they make a little bit of ground. And once more, a pocket of heavy men. Creevy is there. The driving legs with Matera in behind, and also Medrano. There's Guido Petti again. Argentina making some decent headway here.
Yeah, surprisingly, Argentina with the crash ball seems to be working for them.
More through the forwards, the sizable Lavanini.
And now they've lost it.
Lost forward and illegally.
The tackle's made, you can't then play the ball.
Opportunity for Argentina to draw level.
This is a penalty we've seen quite often this season, isn't it, Brian? It's it's a difficult one because when a steal's not a steal, almost once a tackle's made, and
Argentina going for the
Simon Bergman
penalty.
actually got penalised for this when Edinburgh against Ulster early on in the season, which is almost exactly the same thing. The tackle's made there, and then he comes in for a second bite. It's quite actually the tackle is quite obvious there. It's a correct penalty, but sometimes we see that second player just coming in almost too quickly.
Well, the problem is for players, you see the ball, and instinctively, you think it's there to play.
Sanchez.
Ooh, Sanchez missed the penalty.
That's a brilliant pick from Nicolas Sanchez. Usually so good from the tee, but that was a sitter.
Argentina number one off the tee this year, 82%. We're sitting as a team, and Sanchez has kicked most of those, but I'll be disappointed with that one.
So at least it was a hard-earned penalty. And Ledesma on the left for a player.
The thing is, Argentina, they gotta bury those.
Argentinian front row.
They gotta bury those, especially in World Cup year.
Gives Maitland time to get up on Ramiro Majano.
Also, I did make a mistake in my World Cup predictions. I got the quarter-final matchups going into the semi-finals wrong.
Just straight up in the air almost.
Unfortunately, New Zealand can't play Ireland, which would have been great. Well, they can't play them in the semis anyway, like I predicted. But
quiet at Murrayfield at the moment.
I'll be doing another prediction video tomorrow, hopefully. So we'll sort that out.
Laidlaw taking his time. Maitland chasing this one down. And forward it goes, and still just about in play. Out it goes now.
The one thing I will say about the Argentinian side, when the ball is on the floor, they love to play football.
You've got to appreciate that games like this against
they love kicking it when it's on the floor.
teams especially, and in these conditions, are never going to be fulsome and fluid right from the start. More often than not, the last 20 minutes we'll see much more action when players are tired and gaps appear.
Argentinian line-out is safe and solid. There's Gravy at the back, just urging his pack on. Easy to Bertrano to send an ugly pass out.
Obviously, we got two very big games today: England, Australia, Wales, South Africa. And
opportunity for Argentina anyway. Bertrano
knock
now
on.
inside, and Argentina pouring in up to within 7-8 metres of the Scottish line. Back it comes deep, the advantage over now, so Argentina have to come from outside the 22. Scotland defending in their 22 for the first time. Sanchez, and out it goes through Matera. It's a quick hand, but some loose passing. And now
shocking pass, someone was.
on the wing.
Seemed more like a little flick on than an actual pass.
Burrows forward again, but Argentina heading backwards, so up it goes to the heavens once more. Hogg again inside the 22 for Scotland, and the ball there to be claimed now, but it went forward, so Matthias Moroni.
So once again, the ball hit the ground. Argentina think they're playing football.
You can see the tactics developing. Kenya's looking around for a bit of support back there. It is wet, and Sanchez has a good boot. He puts it high. It's unusual to see two high
kicking it across the floor. It's not football, lads.
It is, but that's as a result of Argentina. The problem Argentina are having is when they get one piece of quick ball, they're not able to turn it to 2 or 3. And either that's because they're not getting numbers enough quickly enough, or not being accurate enough, or Scotland are managing and just staying there long enough to slow the ball down. And irrespective of the ground you've made or the quickness of the ball, you need 2 or 3 in succession to really open the defence.
Especially when the defence is wider than the attack. I think Scotland's defence is in a good position. It's coming up, shutting them down, but it's a dangerous tactic, that high ball from Sanchez. They're terrific in the air as well, the back three of Argentina.
It's a Scottish ball, but their scrum will come under a bit of a squeeze here. It's solid from both sides, and there's a first touch for Hugh Jones. Deep it comes to the big boots of Stuart.
He's going to be
Hall.
Scotland's
Straight
bread and
down the
butter,
middle.
Hugh Jones in the Six Nations and
Mojano, and he gives it on to
World Cup.
Boffelli.
I guarantee you.
Boffelli is chasing this one down. Laidlaw takes and feeds Hastings. Hastings
Chase down.
charged. And
Once again, a boot.
oh, well, Boffelli is chasing this one down. Aaron Hastings will just get there in time. He just seemed to snooze for a moment.
It's a high ball again, it's a tactic.
Why is it with Argentina playing football?
In the air, Argentina that's a charge and fully committed. It's Boffelli who put the initial high ball up, and then you're right, Andrew, everyone seemed to stop here. Boffelli gets up and chases it, but Adam Hastings gets back just in time.
The restart is a low scuttler from the 22. Argentina, well, now
Straight in the touch.
tackle. Now, if that were not at Murrayfield, if that was in Buenos Aires, there might be some cheering from the crowd. It was.
Well, it should be cheering because unforgivable to just get yourself drifting into touch and turn the ball over effectively for the line of any of the options. Even just stopping still would have been a better one to allow players to come in and support.
Yeah.
He's quite lucky to get away without being penalised for a high tackle as well. Blair Kinghorn. Still around the head. Not malice, but certainly was high.
Short and line out, but long is the throw and taken down by Jamie Ritchie.
They're going backwards.
Strauss.
Now they're going forwards.
With a chance to see if they can maul their way forward, which they're doing pretty usefully. Strauss just breaks off on his own and runs straight into Sanchez. Gilchrist. On goes Alan Dell. Small, mobile, loose head. Hastings again. Big half charge down. But it might work okay for Hugh Jones, but he just
You
gets in
see,
the way of
rugby players are not footballers.
back with Argentina again, and their captain Pablo Matera.
That's where Argentina got the advantage in that. Most of the Argentinian players are very good at kicking the ball. Oh!
Pump in on Beltrano, and Hamish Watson brings it down. Laidlaw now, but a little knock on from Blue Hands. Argentinian scrum. Let's go down and get the thoughts of John Barton. I suppose, John, you have to tailor your play according to the conditions, but it's I don't know, a nervy start, cagey start from both sides, feeling each other out.
Yeah, very much so. I don't think it's shaping up to be a classic just yet, but I think these are probably the hardest conditions.
I don't think it is going to be a classic at all, mate.
The ball is so slippy out there, so both teams are pretty reluctant to play much rugby in the middle of the pitch in fear of giving the ball away either through a penalty or knock on. So you're going to see a lot of box kicking, a lot of kicking for territory, with the hope that eventually someone makes a mistake. Because when you're stuck and you're pinned down in these conditions, it can get really, really tricky to get out.
Thank you, John. Somebody told me who takes note of such things that it's the first rain in a Scotland game at Murrayfield for 2 years.
I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. I don't care. I don't care what stats you got. I don't believe it.
Brian is crying fake news.
Yeah, it's
So Argentina with the ball.
one of those things.
Was that Donald Trump's climate specialist
We're
giving that figure?
drifting into dangerous territory.
We do know it's a
Controversial.
specifically to ruin US manufacturing.
Let's enjoy the scrum.
Actually, one area of many areas actually that has been of considerable improvement in the last 3 or 4 years is the Scotland front row. They've now got 2 effective front rows that are interchangeable, that are capable of scrimmaging, with the best, and that wasn't always the case. It's a significant factor in their improvement.
Yeah, Scotland are starting to get a little bit of depth, but not enough at the moment.
Beltrano gives it to Nicolas Sanchez, and again the kick, and racing back is Maitland. It's a very, very well directed kick. Maitland thinking about the quick one, then sees the onrushing Jano. So
That's pretty special. Where the rugby, isn't it? A solid scrum, and then just look at the decision for Stuart Hogg. If he goes too early, Sanchez can move that. He just drifts off, finds his space in behind Sean. Excellent kick, and his forwards will appreciate that.
So Scotland's line out, but all the way back in their own 22. Pressure comes in and the ball is spilled, but a little knock on from Argentinian hands. Scotland's ball anyway.
Scotland should have the advantage because able to play in the wet
So
a
Laidlaw
lot
sent it
better.
down the line and just over the line.
It's a good kick as well from Greg Laidlaw, under a lot of pressure there. The ball's so slow, it allows the taller players of Argentina to get close to him. They put pressure on the kick, but it's a good outcome to get off the field.
The problem for Scotland is if they continue to play in this way, you know, balls in the air, effective lottery sometimes, it might go for you, it might not, but it keeps the score close. Were these drier conditions and Scotland to play the game that they want to play and become very good at, then it would be less, you know, fortune bound.
So Argentina attack through the midfield. Certainly more of the ball to
So
play
narrow
with the
attack
last
though.
10 minutes.
They ain't got no width for
But,
oh, hang on.
On it goes now to very brisk winger Delguy. Sets it back. And then Rodrigo Bruni.
Good defence from Scotland so far, 20 minutes in. Of course, if you're watching the game live, you're 30 minutes in, but...
Great ball carrier he is. Has been for many years for Argentina. Matera puts it on to Moroni.
It's a little pop pass.
And now with Majano, and Argentina making good headway again up to the 22. Good hands from Medrano to Garcia
Argentina
Porta.
are pretty decent when they get on and go.
Well. And there is Lavanini.
There we go, they got the overlap and
then
fumble.
Just breaks down for a moment. Hugh Jones falls upon Javier Ortega Decio. Some good handling from Argentina, but they have to start again. And once more from depth, up it goes from Sanchez. And it works well enough for Argentina. Comes back eventually to De La Fuente and then to, well, Majano, and that's true.
Well, they've lost a lot of ground there.
Stretched.
Yeah, he's got the advantage now. High tackle.
And Boffelli.
Yeah, what they do.
And they'll just have that penalty now.
It's a high tackle. 10. Get it down, boys.
Yeah, it was a high tackle, wasn't it? It was after the kick. Wonderful offload from Majano. I must admit, some of the handling from Argentina has been excellent. That's the final one. It's just...
So around the neck, that's definitely a high tackle.
Seatbelt tackle, it goes over like that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not dangerous, but it's within the purview of the emphasis of World Rugby. And another statement again today from the World Rugby Chief Executive, Brett Gosper, saying there hadn't been enough cards, too few cards for high tackles in the autumn series in general. So the referees have all been told, I'm sorry, you've got to be much stricter on this. Whether or not you like it, whether or not you agree with it, is a different matter. That's the way it's going to be, because they're trying to change player behaviour.
It's a sanction for that they look to change player behaviour.
Well, it's Emiliano Boffelli taking over the kicking duties for this one of some distance, 46 metres or so.
Right, here we go. So it'll be a beast of a kick if we can get it. 46 metres out.
This one drifting the other way, and 2 kicks, 2 misses for Argentina.
Never
So
miss
they
from
deserve better.
Argentina.
They've got to knock over the kicks to earn the points.
But Chris, I don't know what you think, but whilst you've got to temper your enthusiasm with reality, the rain has stopped now, and Scotland's best opportunities, they play best when they are taking chances.
Well, straight through the middle goes Moroni. Scotland make a real hash of their 22 restart, gifting ball away. And Matera, the captain, switches it to Sanchez. Argentina man down at the moment.
Down.
2 men down, in fact. 13 attacking 15, and the ball pings back, but still with Argentina. Creevy gives it on to Sanchez. Little snap through, and the chase is on. And Majano couldn't quite get there. Says perhaps that he did. And we'll be urging the referee
If
to have a look.
this actually gets
drawing the television
given as a try,
this is a restart.
then I'm going to be absolutely annoyed, because it looks very similar to the try that was disallowed Wales against England in the Six Nations.
It's a nice touch, isn't it, by Sanchez? And I don't think Majano gets there. We'll have another look from this angle. There it is. It's lovely delicate kick through. Hugh Jones gets there ahead of Majano.
Well, it was the best he could do in those circumstances, but actually, a fraction earlier, there was a much bigger gap in that corner, and had it gone there, Scotland would have been in more trouble.
Argentina tended to drift in field there. They should have kept the width, but I've been impressed in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the quality of the handling of the Argentinian players. Are under a lot of pressure. The Scottish defence is strong, but they're managing to get that offload away, and they're particularly well.
Argentina making a change. Matias Orlando, who was dropped from the centre for this one, will come on. He's coming on for Canonico de la Fuente.
It's a big day for sports this weekend. Not only Six Nations, but the final race in the F1, the final race for one of the greatest, Fernando Alonso.
It didn't look like a lot of space, but that's all these players need to spark the attack.
Sunday I will be watching that race.
In many ways, this is the ideal test for Scotland, this type of game against this type of opponent, because everybody knows Scotland can score tries, but they want to win, they want to be able to adapt as well and show that they can do it sort of ugly-ish when required.
Yeah, they can do, but the point I would make, Andrew, is their best chance of winning games is they've got to play with the ambition that has brought them so much success. Now, I understand they have to temper it slightly in certain conditions, certain opposition, but yet the willingness to do that hasn't been there at the moment. So they're not playing to what I think many other people consider are their tactical strengths.
Not wrong.
Ortega Decio with the spill from the restart.
I thought that went backwards, but okay.
Sure, went forward. Honestly, but you're right. The crucial thing, Brian, is the balance and how you play. You don't win games by playing one way or the other. You win games by doing the right thing at the right time and being accurate.
You're right, but at the moment they've just done one thing.
Scotland? Yeah, they've not had a lot of possession other than the first few minutes. They looked quite good attacking the space on the edge of Argentina. They've not really had much possession now.
De La Fuente is back on, as you saw, for Matias Orlando. But hello.
Having a look at that contact, which will be given as a high tackle.
Yeah, we just saw just at the very end there. So I think Scotland might.
This could be a yellow card.
Going to suffer here.
And although I don't think it's a yellow card, it was a bit more serious than the other one. Oh, yeah, that probably is a yellow card, actually.
Yeah.
It's Fraser Brown coming in on Mojano.
It's definitely contact with the head. He's trying to just bash the ball. But if we could see that in full speed, we'll give you a better context there. But it's certainly high. And it's certainly contact with the head.
I'm very surprised if that's not yellow.
Yeah, that's definitely a yellow.
Here we are.
So therefore it's very low. There's nothing else wrong with the rep, but yes, it does catch him high, so this is a restart there, which will lead to white.
Okay, well, mitigating circumstances, according to Paul Williams, is that Mojano was very, very low going to ground. So Fraser Brown is spared. Just a penalty to Argentina.
Okay, he was lucky there.
A little bit fortunate, I think. Fraser Brown has no intent. Again, you're flying through. You're trying to get to a loose ball. You're, wrapping your arm in the tackle. But under the new guidelines, it didn't make contact with the head. It's a penalty. Could be interpreted at some point as a yellow card, but I think in full speed, yes, it would look worse, but it'd give you a context of how little time there is.
I agree, and they should be replayed in full speed as well. But I don't think World Rugby will agree with this.
That's fine.
In fact, I'm sure World Rugby won't agree.
Just throw the ball.
Argentina with the penalty, now with the line out, and once again with the attack in the Scottish half. 50 collisions. Coming now, Scotland still with a very slender lead.
I can't link it live
Missed penalties.
because I am watching it on TV.
The camera gives it to Rodrigo Bruni, taken down by Johnny Gray.
I'm not watching it on any streaming thing, I'm just watching it on my
Boffelli,
TV.
And there's Matera again, with good hands once more out wide from Argentina, and once more creeping into the Scottish 22. Agustin Creevy getting to ground despite the attention of Bergen and Sanchez.
No worries.
And Murrayfield tries to stir the home side, but all Scottish defence at the moment.
You gotta watch that hand there, around the top of the collarbone. You gotta watch that, Scotland.
Deep it comes, Sanchez, up it goes, and once more Hogg in the 22 under pressure. Takes this one, and then takes the hit. Anthony called for the mark and Javier Ortega Desio. Yep, and somebody was calling somebody back.
Jesus Christ!
Apologies.
Hogg
Going
going nuts.
into position, and the ball was moving in there as well.
Quite a good bit of shepherding.
Hogg
as well,
literally
whereby
just
they-
said to every single Scottish player then, I'm calling you back for fuck's sake.
And the kick is long from Hogg, but
Fair play.
once more an opportunity. And here is Ramiro Majano, the smallest
Listen
man
to
in the
Hogg.
group, and he says that he's being held back as Hastings takes it on the drop. Good tackle coming in from Matera,
Yes,
and
General, still.
Scotland trying to get it back, but Hastings has to
Leave it!
work hard to set it back now. Did well in the end. Back to penalty to Argentina.
Well, Craig is in there and does an amazing job, doesn't he?
He's a very good player, really.
Team blue, playing it on the floor.
A lot of had observations to make about Scotland's tactics. Let's not take away from Argentina the fact that they have been very adept at keeping the ball. They've denied Scotland possession. They've made ground through powerful runs, even though they haven't managed to be creative and make clean line breaks. They've kept Scotland under pressure.
And worth pointing out, of course, Argentina, even though Scotland did start as slight favourites today, Argentina have lost to Ireland, lost to France, they've lost the last 4 games, but they did beat Australia, they did beat South Africa in the Rugby Championship, so by no means slouches. Better under Mario Ledesma, and now Sanchez again. So the first points for Argentina, finally, 1 kick from 3, and elsewhere on the scoreboard, but Argentina certainly with far more of this game.
Well, they have come in the game really. Their kicking game's good. Their chase is excellent as well. They've had a bit of balance to what they're trying to do. They've offloaded in the tackle. They've kicked high. The challenging high kicks have caused Scotland a little bit of trouble, and they deserve to be, well, not only level, they probably deserve to be ahead, Argentina.
Yep. Restart down the way of Ortega Desio. And headlong into Bell and Gilchrist.
Oh, good, please, blue.
And Bertrano having a look. And deep it comes to Sanchez again.
Argentina should actually be slightly ahead at the moment. They shouldn't have missed our first penalty kick for them. Second one was a bit of a distance, so we can allow that, but it should be 6-3 right now.
Away goes from Maitland and into Hall. Argentinians swarming around the fullback. A rare attack now for Scotland. Strauss, ball carrier in chief with Johnny Gray. Scotland turn but get the ball back, and Hastings again onto Fraser Brown. Once more, Hastings gives it on to Kinghorn, drifting off his left wing. Hastings again, and
Too close together.
available outside. And Russell sends it high and taken down well. Matera for Argentina. Work by Rajano, not the biggest man. Ritchie eventually brought him down. Sanchez gives the little no-look pass on to De La Fuente, but there was a paw in touch.
Well, that's a shame for Argentina that they couldn't keep that ball in. Of the two sides, unusually you would say that Argentina are playing with more creativity at this point.
Yeah, they've got a creative back three, a very good back three. They're trying at the bottom. Majano there was caught in the midfield. I think it'd be better to move it through the hands rather than take it on himself.
Ritchie right at the back of the Scottish lineouts, and Scotland again. An opportunity as Maitland hurls himself into the Argentinian half. And then Johnny Gray.
No!
Hands come over from Argentina, and Scotland have the penalty advantage. And Gilchrist, free attack for Scotland. So Hastings.
Right through the middle.
Looking for men outside. Hastings, rather on his own into the 22. Sets it back now for Fraser Brown. Ritchie feeds out to Bergen. The referee still playing a long advantage, penalty advantage for Scotland. Johnny Gray.
Scotland on the 22.
Gilchrist and Hastings onto Ritchie. Sanchez got him, and Cravey over the top. New advantage, says the referee. So penalty there as Cravey came over trying to steal.
This should be an easy 3 points for Scotland right now. Unless they go for the corner and try and maul it over.
Argentina were undernumbered.
I know at this point it's actually half time, but
as accurately as was wanted, it was closed down.
I'm 10 minutes behind, so
come back this side.
Well, it was a good break by Hastings, wasn't it? 1 or 2 phases, and then he had the opportunity then to look up, survey what was going on, bit of movement out the back.
This is better from Scotland, though.
And then he takes that space really, really well. A little bit isolated in terms of support playing offload to Fraser Brown eventually, and this is a penalty. Cravey, who comes in the number 2 spine, it's Nicolas Sanchez who has to roll away, and that's a penalty given away. It's Nicolas Sanchez who's penalised. I'm sure Greg Laidlaw will chip this over to put Scotland ahead. The first sustained attack from Scotland looks like it's going to result in some more points.
Number 1 to test.
Yep,
Laidlaw.
good kick.
So Scotland leads, 8 minutes to go in the first half, and you would say against the run of play, Scotland in front, but taking their chances when offered.
Well, they found some attacking shape with options in around the ball carrier, and we saw Adam Hastings. We've seen him beat so many defenders in his domestic form for Glasgow. That time was a space in front of me identified and slid through.
Sanchez, a good restart, and Gilchrist just throwing his big arms up, no lift from anyone there, but Scotland have it. And Laidlaw again sends it high and down the line. Good take by Boffelli, an Argentinian fullback. Lavanini flings it again deep, and Sanchez beats Johnny Gray. And the direct approach from the Argentinian forwards. Once more it is Cravey, the hooker. Then back to Sanchez. And testing Hogg again. And it goes to Hugh Jones.
Hugh Jones, go in field. Never go out towards the touchline, especially when you're on your own.
Gilchrist once more. Meets Guido Petty, his opposite number.
6 minutes left in the first half for me. Nagnachi catch up.
And once more Boffelli with a great take, and the offload is slightly forward in any case before the knock-on. Scotland will have a scrum. They're happy for it to play on, so Hogg sends it downfield over the head of Sanchez, and then the bounce takes it away from the fly half. So he now has to work hard. He's kicked beyond Hogg, but good distance, and Adam Hastings.
Here we go.
Green grass in
Scotland
front
on the
of
counter.
heading towards the final 5 minutes as Bergen takes it in, and then Ritchie met well by Matthias Moroni. And Moroni's felt that one. But that was scored from Johnny Gray, then the knock on from Argentina, but it'll be an Argentinian scrum, and I think we're actually going to get the thoughts of John Barclay again watching this. It's I don't know, it seems quiet inside Monaco, a little bit of a nervous affair, this one.
It seems to be, again, we spoke about the kick cycle before, and that's Scotland kicking, Argentina going to kick the ball straight back, and you saw Argentina had a lot of possession down in the Scotland half, but once you get stuck down there, neither teams are going to really change their tactics. Argentina will keep kicking the ball back, keep putting the up and unders up, and Scotland will keep kicking the ball long. So once you get down there, you need to wait for someone to make an error, someone to break that cycle to allow you to get back. But it's encouraging. Scotland have had a little bit of ball recently and are showing a willingness to throw the extra pass now. It seems to have
they're looking to run with it, which is
decent.
So
yeah, we'll be interested to see if both teams continue to play the same way, or if the conditions are getting a little bit easier out here on the pitch.
From Bertrano, always chuckled scrum half feeds. They said they were going to crack down on them. Not to the Argentina once more, and then the score from 20 and Hogg.
Big boot.
And Russell sends it, pretty well directed. It's a bit of a kicking contest at the moment.
Well, it was a good tackle that set up that opportunity. It was Adam Hastings, I think, who put the tackle on De La Fuente. Dislodges the ball. We quite often see that higher tackle in rugby league when the surface is wet. And then pragmatism from Russell.
So one of the problems when you decide to, play that kicking game, when Hastings got the ball in open play, it was a prime opportunity. Because a lot of Scotland players didn't get back as quickly as they might have done, expecting him to run, because they were expecting him to kick. And therefore his option was closed down to eventually kick because the players weren't there as they normally would have been.
Good line out, great maul from Argentina.
Yes, a hell of a
again
maul.
at the back, and 15-20 metres have been made now, heading towards touch. So Argentina.
He just went from the 22 to the 10-metre line
Sanchez.
on a
Maitland
maul.
underneath this one, takes it down well, and takes the tackle, but offloads nicely to Laidlaw. He's under pressure, he spills, and Argentina have that ball once more. Lavanini fumbling for
Argentina on the counter.
on the Argentinian side, but they'll come back, I think, for the Scottish knock-on originally.
It's too far, so no advantage. Play the scrum.
But people may disagree with them, may say I'm not being realistic in the conditions, but if you play this sort of game, an aerial-based game, and it comes down to mistakes, it can go one way or the other. Purely on the bounce of the ball, on a knock-on, on a kick-through. And if Scotland want to get hold of this game and keep possession, then they need to alter what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, by definition, that's both sides, isn't it? I mean, the back threes probably accentuate that. If there is a loose ball, you'd imagine Stuart Hall, you can see Stuart Hall, Maitland, with King Hall running in from a long way, as with Buffelli, Delgui, and Majano. So if it gets loose, the ball tips up. It is a pretty dangerous tactic,
Right.
but Argentina are doing it really well. That kick was just a little
Just
bit too
under
long.
2 minutes
The chase
left
was exceptional.
of the
Bechano
first
made
half,
the tackle.
and then I can
So the
catch up
thing, the chase, is a second part that just backs it up.
with the live cap.
Not quite held by Hugh Jones, so
He was held there, that's a penalty.
Hugh Jones felt he was. Majano and the referee disagreed. Ball lost forward in any case, and Scotland will have the scrum.
I think the positive from Scotland in this first half has been the defence. The phase defence has been excellent. They've had a lot of width, they've been able to come forward. Argentina have had a lot of possession, but that set piece defence there, that would please Matt Taylor, the Scottish defence coach, because it was Hastings, Finn Russell and Hugh Jones challenged at the line by 3 or 4 runners. But what the Scotland midfield did is stay together, they worked together. The tackle was made, he was held, he didn't release.
He's not allowed to get
That
up
should
there,
be a
that's
penalty.
effectively completed.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
Rollins, in any case, in a Scottish scrum.
Midfield three working well as a unit there. That will please the Scottish
That is actually a penalty. You can't get back up after you've been tackled,
Sanchez is really good at putting
unless
through gaps.
you're not being held.
Now Scotland looking
He
for
was
some adventure
clear,
from the final passage of play.
clearly held.
Steep rises. Hogg once more.
Big boot.
The boots. Out it goes, and not too far away from half-time. Buffelli.
And I think that's an underestimated part of Hogg's game, the length of his kick, isn't it?
Yes.
Often, caricatured as just someone who is a brilliant attacker, let's face it, but he does have the ambition and the length of the kick with us as a complete package almost.
And a really good short kicking game. We often see him set up tries with short attacking kicking games, so both parts, the clearance and distance as well as the soft touch as well.
Both
You think it
sides.
was straight? It wasn't. I like that. They're getting like scrums now.
The referee says it's straight. It's straight. That's all we need to know. So final attack will go to Argentina if they wish to do so. Matera down to the feet of Bertrano under pressure from Johnny Gray.
Oh, thanks very much, he says.
Ball still there for Argentina. That is silly, says the referee. Sanchez being left in uncertain terms by the referee.
Interesting tactic.
Turnover is good, says the referee, so Scotland might have a final assault as it's flung back by Ritchie. Loose it is, but there is Watson now with it. Argentinian defence up quickly.
Just boot it out, lads.
Laidlaw to Bergen, and Bergen deeper now to Hastings. Out it comes to Strauss. Strauss is muscling his way past Sanchez. Just flung himself into Strauss on the ground. Johnny Gray takes a
And there
1-2,
it is.
but there was a bit knocked forward in there, and that will be an end to
Half time.
Not a try fest, not the most
panning out there towards the end of that half. Scotland will go feeling a little bit relieved that they're in front. They've got their noses just
Half time. We caught up. We're live.
And it's not been that exciting game. So Scotland will take the lead, absolutely. And they'll just be.
And now we're going to have a little look at the other
how can we start
games that are going on today.
It's not really happened so far, but you'd much rather start at 6-3 up. Second half, knowing that you can bring it up in the
obviously
second
we
half.
had Italy versus New Zealand.
Just that controlling the ball
If
is
I can
absolutely
actually,
key, and I think we need to see
am I allowed to can I view that game?
So late on that set, the first half there, Johnny Gray,
No, Google's not allowing me
get that
view
platform,
it.
try and get just in half in behind Argentina, and then allow the backs to play with their.
So look at the England-Australia game.
Compared to another,
Latest score at the moment for England and Australia.
137.
England 10, Australia 3.
You know, you could expect double that easily, couldn't you?
I mean, I was thinking that Australia would win that one, but England are actually going for it.
And here we are, we're seeing a different way, but that's conditions, different opposition, different mindset, everything's so this is, remember I said at the start of the programme about Scotland have to find a different way to win games? Well, this is a different game, so they're going to have to find a different way to do it.
Okay, well, let's hope the second half pleases Martin Johnson just as much as the first, though, because he was giddy with excitement. Let's have a little look then around the world of Test rugby this afternoon. There's plenty going on, and well, you can see Canada's women have beaten Wales 38 points to 20.
Oh, there we go. The latest score for New Zealand, Italy.
Tonga by 10 points to 9.
52 points to New Zealand, 3 to Italy.
At the moment, New Zealand by 52 points to 3. Russia
Italy again absolutely battered.
Scoreline, and Spain with a slim 3-0 lead at the moment over Samoa. England Australia is on BBC 2 at 7:30. Highlights of that, and
yeah, I was going to say it's actually on right now.
South Africa on BBC 2 later on this afternoon.
And I will be watching.
5:30, England women take on Ireland, and then it's Ireland USA at 6:30 and France.
Wales South Africa. That's going to be
let's hear the thoughts of John Barker on that.
Big game.
James Bunnage.
Where the conditions are totally different, Gabby, from when you were last with us. It has dried up considerably. Hopefully more opportunities in the second half. But John, they're going to have to temper their frustration, Scotland, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say so. And you can feel the frustration in the stadium. And I walked past someone and she's saying that you've got to run it out more. And it's almost impossible in these conditions. If you're in your own half, with defence coming at you very hard, to generate quick ball, which we spoke so much about before the game. But the guys in the studio said the right thing. They'll be talking a lot about the kicking game, how they can gain access into the game by playing in the right areas. Because ultimately, you play too much in the wrong area, so you're going to get pinned down and then give the risk giving away of penalties and knock-ons and give Argentina another opportunity.
Well, with the conditions improving, that favours Scotland in my mind.
It's Greg Laidlaw who could be just as pivotal. His control, he's looked very steely today, and 2 years ago it was his kick which made the difference.
Yeah, look, there's not many guys I'd rather have in this situation. Greg's been around long enough. His kicking game's been great today, but his control around the park, which you don't necessarily, you can't feel, you can't see, but the guys on the pitch will be fully aware of it. And he'll be in there making sure everyone knows what they're doing at halftime, what the plan is for the second half, and he'll be the key guy moving forward in the second half.
And we looked at the breakdown before kick-off. It's been a lot more cohesive from Scotland in that opening 40, given the conditions.
Yeah, it's totally different. You're comparing two different things, I guess, to last week, but yeah, it's a bit slower, the game. The guys clearly had a message this week about the content. They're very organised. And I think if the conditions stay like this, I think if we manage to get down into the attacking half, you'll see Scotland really hitting the breakdowns. If they can generate a bit of quick ball, I think they can cause a few problems for the Argentinian side.
And is there one player who you can think make a difference, come out of their shell?
Hogg.
I think they're just going to play in the right areas. They've got a bit of firepower coming off the bench, which I'm sure they're going to use at the last.
Hogg's going to make the difference. Now that the weather's starting to dry out a little bit.
So let's just mark your card with the rest of the rugby on the BBC this weekend. 5 o'clock, Wales, South Africa, BBC 2.
I will be watching. I will be watching. Not England, Australia, but Wales, South Africa. But right now we are supporting a neighbour country, We're supporting our Celtic brothers.
So with just 3 weeks
To
to
the
go
north.
to Sports Personality of the Year, tickets now on sale for the live show in Birmingham, Sunday, December the 16th. Always an amazing night. Go to bbc.co.uk/sports personality. Get your tickets.
Just looking at
I'll
the
see
stream,
you
but
there.
it looks a
Andy
bit
will be
dark,
there.
so I'm going to turn
Always
the light
a
off.
big fan of the show, aren't you?
Well, I can.
Final thoughts then as we head towards the second half here. There's always changes, no need to ask you that. But do you see any kind of pragmatic changes from Gregor in terms of personnel controlling this game in a different way, Andy?
No, I don't. I just think Greg Laidlaw will be on for as long as Scotland need him on the pitch.
There we go. That looks a bit better now. You can actually see me. Hello. How are you?
They'll go to Spain. I think both teams will go to the bench without doubt. But I just think Scotland play in the right areas, get more possession, and they can still win. Well, they will win this game, I think.
Okay, let's hand it over.
Yep,
to
I
Andy.
think Scotland are going to win it.
One change to the Argentinian side at half-time, and it was...
Here we go, second half game ready.
As a blood replacement for De La Fuente in the first half, but he's on for the outside.
Scotland kick off is Scotland 6, Argentina
The second half. No
3.
changes to the Scotland side, but certainly they'll be
And why
looking
did I
for
say Argentina?
greater
It's
things.
Argentina.
Desio with the initial take and carry, but Argentina determined obviously to end their November on a high. But again, a reminder, they're playing the Barbarians next Saturday at Twickenham.
That's going to be a tough game for them.
Confirmation of that change with Orlando on for Maroney. Now here is Adam Hastings, gives it to Strauss.
Here we go. Now the weather's dried up a bit. Scotland are playing a lot more ball in hand. They're going to be running. They're going to be making all these passes, making the plays, looking for the gaps, trying to get through over the game line and try to get some tries and some points on the board.
Then to Bergen,
Guarantee you.
into his opposite number, Santiago Medrano. Hastings just delays, and then a very rare touch for Russell. Barely saw him in the first half.
It's going to be a lot less knock-ons in this half.
Strauss once again.
You can see it's visibly drier out there. Here we
He
go.
wants to start for Scotland today. Pressure comes in, and Hugh Jones, who can only set it back. Hamish Watson. And then loses it forward in the contact.
Well,
So
I
opportunity
say
again for
it should be fewer
Argentina.
knock-ons.
Bertrano, the scrum half.
But knock-on on contact, it's not as bad as just fumbling it as soon as you catch it.
The right winger. Left now for Medrano.
Advantage over now.
Back it comes to Sanchez, and a deft chip this time, and taken by Hugh Jones, just as Matias Orlando came through, and penalty to Argentina.
Sealed straight off. Straight off.
Adam Hastings, it's penalised for sealing off, not allowing a fair contest for possession after Hugh Jones caught the chip. Good defence that time from Argentina. 7 phases for Scotland. Then when they did win the turnover, they went to the chip quite early. Hugh Jones was actually fortunate to be in the right place, covered it well, but then you can see Adam Hastings flopping over to the ball. He does get back to his feet, but you have to stay on your feet, you have to retain your body weight and allow a fair contest for possession.
Right, here we go. It's a kick attempt for Argentina.
Rain since about the 20th minute. There's no wind, and although the surface will be slightly wet, these are no more difficult conditions than in previous games. So I would expect Scotland should be able to temper the game with a bit more width. The key is quick ball, as John Lofton was saying.
A good kick from Sanchez from that distance, and Argentina are level. That's no less than they deserve.
Yeah, it's a good strike, isn't it? Had that early, uncharacteristic miss, but that's a nice strike from Sanchez. But the key to how Scotland play is possession, Brian. I don't think we've had enough possession to dictate how the game's going, but we're looking to put our hands on the ball.
The restart again, fielded by Nadia Ortega Desio, number 8. And then Thomas Lavanini. Like most of the players on the Argentinian side, almost all of them play for the Jaguares, the Argentinian super club side.
One noticeable change from the first half, maybe is the 2 kicks that man Nicolas Sanchez has put to ball. Scotland have had a lot of pressure on him trying to force a poor kick.
And despite the pressure, Argentina win their line out again. Matera. And Rodrigo Bruni has his bit of carrying. Back it comes to Sanchez. And Hogg once more being pressurised, takes it and then takes the hit coming in from Bautista Del Guy. Does well, Hogg. There is Ritchie on his own there, but gets to ground well. And Bergen to Gilchrist. Hastings was being lined up by Del Guy. Still with Scotland though, half an opportunity as Hogg chips. And then Kinghorn can't quite keep the ball in play.
Well, Kinghorn just flashing on the loose ball, putting the ball to touch, but there's two terrific tackles from Del Guy in that phase of play. The first one was the kick that was too long and he managed to hit, I think it was it Stuart Hogg he got. And then the second one, watch him, he gets back to his feet, comes out to it and hits Adam Hastings, man and ball.
Yeah, he lined him up from day
pass
one.
to the outside. Good technique, good collision.
Well, he sold himself as he had to do there because he didn't make that tackle man and ball. There were 3 men left free. When he made that decision to go in, you've got to get the ball.
Argentina again, just creeping forward in the ball again. It's Creevy at the back.
Argentina going for the maul.
I don't think it was the wisest decision for the scrum out to ring the 2 second rows, to be honest.
No, I'm not sure of that. I think he was caught with surprise. The ball popped out. They were still creeping forward. Creevy with the ball at the back, and it popped into Bertrano's hand. The pass was shot off, and he decided to take the whole pack on himself.
Interestingly, well, you can be the judge of this. So, the game that Scotland last scored, as you watched the replay, last failed to score a try. You have to go back to 2016. I thought it might be against England here in the Six Nations of that year, 32 games ago, 15-9 England won. But there was actually a game against Japan in the summer of 2016. Where Scotland scored 21 points, but all from the boot. So, we're talking 26 games ago that Scotland last failed to score a try in a Test match.
They've scored 39 tries so far this season. It's second only, as we said at the top of the show, to the All Blacks. Sometimes they win different ways, as you see.
It's an awful start. This side,
Landaho warming up.
I'm coming over here.
Well, Landaho was for a long time the #1 scrum half, but with the new coach, Ledesma, effectively, his man has been Bertrano.
He's played well, Bertrano. You know, I know he just tried to take on the whole pack himself, got turned over, but his kicking's been good. His kick chase has been good, interestingly, for a scrum half as well. You've got a lot of experience in Landaho on the bench.
Let's go.
So Laidlaw gives it on to Hastings now. Here's Kinghorn. Didn't really see a chance to show his pace. He was well shackled there by Matias Orlando, and penalty to Argentina. Great defence, and Orlando leading it, and he earns the applause from his teammates.
Well, you have to give credit to the Argentinian defence in terms of selection of when to go.
Yeah, they're quick up on them.
That drag back ball, if you commit to that and don't get it right, then you leave a lot of space outside you and you leave men free to exploit it. But on the few occasions that Scotland have used that deep drag back ball, the Argentinians have pursued it and got it right, put the man down and caused problems.
There's two really good elements to what he does here. First, you're right, it's a decision to go for it, but then if you go for it, you have to be technically good enough, not only to make the tackle, but pop to your feet and win the possession. He's done everything there, Orlando. He's made the right decisions, he's accelerated into the contact, popped back to his feet and won his penalty. Those little big things can swing momentum in a match, and that's 3 times in the second half that Argentina have taken a risk in defence and they came out on top.
But Sanchez, who we were talking about earlier, went through 700 international points against France last weekend. Not all of it against France, but it's been a decent career, and this to put Argentina in front.
Good kick.
Just drifting, and the
I thought it went over.
Look at each other, and another miss, and Argentina should be a distance in front at the moment.
Well, we've less than 9 points. Begging, haven't we now?
Yep, 9 points.
Yeah, it's unlike Sanchez. The thing is, he's such a natural kicker. not to get too boring, but if you're a very technical kicker and you miss, you tend to realise what you've done wrong, the process, but when you're so natural and you miss, you're not inclined to know what to put right for the next one.
Yeah.
Was that too boring, Andrew?
Well, you did preface it, but anyway, a little knock on from Argentina at the restart. So
Wait,
Scotland,
what did he say?
he drifted off.
So knock on.
I enjoyed it.
Backwards.
Coming back for the Scotland scrum.
You need to know what to put
You
right
mean,
if you miss.
you mean it's like a self-made golf swing? You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah. If you break it down into process or steps, and you know which bit of the step or which step you did wrong, you know what to put right.
The difference between Bubba
Ooh,
Watson
it actually did drift wide.
Exactly.
and anyone else, really.
Yeah, pretty much. It's so natural, it's all about full hand-eye coordination, so it's more difficult to fix something when you're
Also,
like
as a goalkeeper, what do you think about this? The fact that he had to go and readjust the ball, and then didn't seem to take that long and have a repeat process.
well, you should have the same process every single time, but he obviously had to replace the ball, a couple of changes as well.
Landako has come on for Bertrano, and Scotland making a couple of changes as well. On the front row, Villanelle is coming on, and he'll come on for Simon Bergen. And there also Ryan Wilson coming on in the back row, and I think Jamie Ritchie is, no, Josh Strauss is coming off. I'm still staggered that Bubba Watson got a mention.
The latest in the England-Australia game at the moment, England 13, Australia 10.
Problems of possession and what it is. But this balance is something because John Barker was talking about
Just short of half-time there.
So on. You don't find yourself there, and you kick the ball. Obviously, you turn
So
it over,
close
they
game
don't make
between
mistakes,
England and
you don't get possession, so
Australia. Close game here for
you've got to
Scotland and
find a different way of
Argentina.
solving that conundrum.
Chat for the front rows.
I'll tell you now, this crowd has not turned up today to watch reset scrums, okay? We need to get this right.
Ryan
We need the
has.
space. You want me to start going free kicks and penalties? I'm happy to do that, but it's your responsibility.
Tell you what, why not just penalise them and get on with it?
Or the front rows could give everyone their money back.
Poor Rob Dells just came onto the field, he said, I've been watching this.
Fair play to the referee. He's just gone up to him and said, "Look, right, these people by here, they didn't turn up to watch reset scrums.
And that will really learn you.
Right, come on now, lads. Get it right."
Watson swinging it as well, maybe.
Chris Patterson's book out for Christmas. Goal kicking, how I did it my way. Mention of the crowd from the referee, the 11th sellout at Murrayfield in a row. And again, when you think of 17,000 coming to watch Scotland Argentina a few years ago, a big improvement in that front. But Scotland looking to improve on the field now. There's Hastings giving it out wide, and Hogg again just off the outside.
Hogg, a little bit of a boot
King
into
Hogg
space.
chased down, but Mojano.
How the hell did he keep that in play?
Hogg once again.
Fair play.
Maitland.
That was a good kick to keep it in play. Fair play. Right on the line he was.
To Hastings. And almost good tackling work from Argentina. Lofted pass to Hogg. Offloads well to Maitland. Well, just about. Loose, and you can see the difficulty players are having. Knock on Gray, and Argentina will have the scrum.
Argentina
I
too
saw
quick
there,
in
Chris,
the
when, ball
defensive
came up,
line
not
at the moment for Scotland.
last time, the penultimate time, and Stuart Hogg found himself having to sort of mark time a little bit because his run. I just wonder when the ball is coming across with different centres than he's used to, that affects his time, and he's slightly in front. And when he got the ball, he was relatively stationary.
Sometimes I think that the longer the ball's in the air as well means it's harder to hit the ball. Goal flight, that one was a bit lofted, it was over the top from the, I think it was Delgate who stepped in from the right wing. So, you know, the slower the pace of the ball, the harder it is for you to get your timing right to hit it hard. But it's good from Scotland's point of view that Stuart Hogg's got his hands in the ball. He got the offload away to Sean Maitland there, but again, the story of the match, not getting past 3, 4, 5 phases before the knock-on comes.
Martin Landako, 84th cap, waits to feed the scrum, and the decision is free kick to Argentina. And there is Orlando. Hastings trying to hold him up, but gets the ground well enough. Bruni, Johnny Gray and Ryan Wilson thump into him. Sanchez to his forwards again, and Creevy once more.
Argentina are not running on the ball. They're all just standing still waiting for it.
Sanchez has this.
They could do some serious damage, Argentina, if they run onto the ball.
And back it comes now to Sanchez. And once more, to a very grey sky.
And hit the ball at a bit of pace, but they're just not doing it.
Well taken by Maitland. Hamish Watson. Out to Hogg now. Can't quite free himself and looks for the offload, goes backwards. Laidlaw has it and on through Nell and Gray, and here is Ryan Wilson. And a bit of space
there we go.
Hastings. Hastings sees support outside, wanders that way. Now Scotland in the front foot. Russell outside to Ritchie. Ritchie barges his way up to the 22. First sign of life from Scotland. Fraser Brown. An advantage to Scotland. The penalty is coming, but the crowd is lifted for once. Laidlaw. Hugh Jones, he's taken down the neck, and that might be bad for Bruni. Well, Scotland had a couple of tackles which were examined in the first half.
No, not now. Oh, yeah, sure. Whereabouts is the first one there?
And Paul Williams.
Okay.
He was right beside the
So you've got two
tackles.
One here, inside the 22. Inside the 22. Whereabouts was it, Nige?
Right now, wasn't it? Just the penalty.
Yeah, but two penalties.
On the 15.
Scotland now getting
So where you are,
to choose
or on
between
the
the two.
15 metre, just outside the 22, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Smart call.
What was that?
Right tackle was Creevy. Was it Creevy or Bruni? One of the two, certainly. But because there's two penalties in the same phase of play, Scotland get to choose which one they'd rather, or which position they'd rather take the penalty from. And if you're kicking a goal, that's obviously the right decision.
Yeah, it's Creevy with the tackle and Jones, but again, probably the right decision, just a penalty.
I think so.
It's going to be a penalty all day, that is.
There's no force.
Just grab him up there.
Penalty only.
Grab him up there and just
With contact
fling
over
him
the
down.
shoulder, but not contact with the head.
Well, it's neck, throat or head, isn't it? I think it's listed in the law book for a high tackle.
It gives Laidlaw a chance to put Scotland in front again. And again, the difference is that Laidlaw takes those opportunities for Scotland when Argentina have failed. 3 times they've missed kicks, and Laidlaw unerring. 9-6 Scotland lead. The brightest passage of play for Scotland in the last 5 minutes. Wilson, newly on the field.
Scotland back in the lead.
Back to Hogg.
Stop here, 18! Thank you.
Goes the way of Boffelli. Powerful number 15, almost into Landako, then meets Johnny Gray. And here is Landako feeding the forwards once more. Medrano. And once more, good effort by De La Fuente to make ground. Then forwards with that direct approach. Scotland's defence being tested once more. Pablo Matera. Ritchie trying to get his hands over, then thinks better of it. Oh, Scotland strip it through Dell. And Hogg got a chance to hoof it downfield again.
What a kick.
Boffelli. And Scotland will have the line out, just about on halfway.
That's a good turnover in the end. I think it was Alan Dale that stripped. And the difference between this and the one in the first half was the tackle just wasn't completed. You're a fraction of a second longer. That's actually a penalty against you, but just before the knee hits the ground. Oh, that's so close, isn't it? Really good play by Alan Dale to strip the ball, win the turnover. And Scotland gained territory through the kick.
So Fraser Brown to Gilchrist.
Sack's fine. Sack's fine.
Sack is fine, says Paul Williams. As Scotland thought that perhaps
Thank you.
Bill must have been brought down as he tried to go forward. Hastings just pops it out to Hugh Jones.
Lost. No.
Johnny Gray again.
Oh, it's okay with that one, mate.
And there's Hamish Watson.
You have to have a little look at these.
De La Fuente. And Creevy and Argentina get the penalty. And great work by Agustin Creevy. Strong position over the ball.
I think it's time for a yellow or two.
Well, that is one of his particular strengths. You've seen him working very hard during the game. He hasn't managed to turn many over, but he has been instrumental in slowing ball down as well.
He's so aggressive and he's such a good shape for that skill, isn't he? He gets low, he's strong, he's got a wide base. The phase before that, he was lucky, well, he was unlucky not to win the penalty, but he just gets in such a strong position. There he is.
Got in a good strong position.
Yeah, and he's on the ball.
I was happy with it, Greg.
Greg Laidlaw was asking a question if the ruck was already formed because he wasn't the first man there, but Paul Williams was happy. He's played well, Creevy, him and Matera, when they've had to go to someone for experience. Those are the two that have stood up so far for me.
Well, take down by Petty, and Argentina come again. So much of the ball to play with. Sanchez was wandering through on his own. Here is Bruni. Fraser Brown wrestling with him. Nell adding his weight. Scotland's defence getting a thorough
20 minutes to go. Scotland 9, Argentina 6.
There is Creevy.
Game's kind of slowed down a little bit.
Goes for Landaco and through the hands of Lavanini. A little bit loose in Sanchez now.
No. It was your player. Get your feet away, move your feet away.
Bruni with the spill, and Scotland will have the scrum again. We can see the difficulties. It is dry now, it's not raining, but the ball's still very wet, the ground's still very wet.
One of the problems that Argentina have got when they are winning ball is because Sanchez stands so close to the game line, but because he's both deep and static, it means people outside him are just running into organised defences.
We'll see this off, and almost right on the 60-minute mark. It's a sort of prescribed change. You know it's going to happen. Agustin Creevy has been playing so well, but he's off, replaced by Julian Montoya, who won his 50th cap last weekend. Montoya, but only
Montoya's not a bad player either, by the way.
Only 4 of his 50 caps have been as starts. That's the sort of modern game for you.
Let's go.
Yeah, go back to what you were saying, Brian. It's so unlike
Pretty
Sanchez
sure
to play as static as that. He's
the New Zealand game has finished right now, so let me get the final score up for New Zealand.
First half, you go to the air and get some joy from the kitchen. That time they kept the ball in hand, and it's almost, you're just waiting for the turnover, the rock on to come.
No, I mean, it's fine if you are going to sit back in the pocket and do that, but you can't move the ball.
Yeah.
You know, with a first receiver that is both deep and static and expect to work.
Stuart McAnally coming on
actually
for Fraser Brown at hooker. Alex Dunbar's
look
coming on the centre.
at the scores? Why is it got to be pain in the arse on me?
Fly half, and there'll be a Dunbar Jones midfield now for Scotland. A difficult afternoon for Adam Hastings. There is Alex Dunbar. So Russell at fly half, Dunbar at inside centre, Jones outside. And a penalty to Scotland.
It's the second time, early.
So usually just a free kick for an early engagement, but the second penalty administered by Paul Williams this time, and up steps Stuart Hall. Just a nudge into the 22, and Murrayfield responds. A rare bit of noise this afternoon. And Argentina making a change as well. Matias Alemano is coming on in the second row, replacing Thomas Lavanini.
Steady front. Stand back on.
So McAnally's first action.
64-3 New Zealand.
This line and over the arms of Richie goes and carried by Bruni on the gallop.
And Australia and England are level again on 13 points apiece.
Lovely time
But here
pass.
comes Argentina, they made the break.
Such an elusive runner. And suddenly Scotland's attacking position comes into one of defence again. Matera is a hard man to bring down, but just not taking the ball with them. Jones. This is kicked too far, out on the full it goes.
Yes.
Unfortunate.
Mistakes on both sides, but Scotland certainly guilty when they had that promising position.
Yeah, it was an intricate move, wasn't it, to try and throw over the tail, or certainly to the tail. And it was well picked up by Bruni, who's had some pretty industrious carries himself.
And it's Bruni who gets it down from the line out, and Sanchez away now. And on to the place with the centre, Matthias Orlando. Romano fresh on the field, replacement second row, and then William Montoya. Still with Argentina. Penalty to Scotland, and the work this time by Jamie Ritchie over the top of that one like a limp foot.
Always a tackle.
Argentina just sending one man in against three there. Never going to end well.
Big boot from Hogg now again, down into the 22.
The tackles in, he's physical in around the breakdown, in attack and defence in the first half, and he's able to win a penalty. There's 2 penalties in quick succession that Scotland have given themselves an opportunity to launch for. There's Ritchie in right away. Wandaho can do absolutely nothing about that. He's trying to buy the penalty, but again, another example of the game almost stopping before our eyes, before the referee blows his whistle.
So on the other side of the pitch,
Here we go. Here comes Scotland.
with a penalty through Hogg into the Argentinian 22, McAnally. This time goes shorter to Ritchie, and Scotland try and maul. And here there's the cry of heave from Murrayfield. McAnally at the back, and in comes the extra weight. Wilson is there. They've had one shot at it. And Argentina shored up their defence. So out it comes to the back, Stavrobash and Dunbar. That power he has in midfield. Ryan Wilson. Out it goes to Nell. Tries to barge his way past Orlando. Argentina's defence strong enough at the moment. Johnny Gray.
Here we go, switch it, coming your way. Quick ball now.
Switch of play now.
Yep, there we go. Scotland over for a try.
Finally it comes, and there will be no tryless game for Scotland today. 15 minutes to go in the first try. Puts Scotland further clear.
Oh, it's finished with Sean Maitland, but it's a brilliant piece of scanning and decision making from Stuart Hogg. He notices that the left-hand side of the ruck is bare from Argentina. Just watch it at the top of the screen. He scans, he calls out to Greg Laidlaw, but it comes back down there. There he is, he has a look, he screams, and he notices only one defender.
I said switch it. I said switch it. That's all you got to do, lads. Just listen.
From Stuart Hogg. Usually he scores, at times he's setting up as a provider, and Sean Maitland gets another try. I think it's 5th in a row here on his home soil. That's what we're looking for, the breakthrough this afternoon.
It is, but it's also poor from Argentina in terms of guards. Either side usually at least have one man. They didn't manage to get even one there in the way. Unfortunately for him, Jono's got to make a decision. He decides to come in, that leaves Maitland free. To be fair to the Argentinian winger, he had no choice because the people who should have been there weren't.
Yeah, there was, and I know from experience he would be.
This is going to be a tough conversion though for Laidlaw.
Sometimes when you get fatigued, you just go into rhythm, you go the same way. Stuart Hogg identified that, called it into Laidlaw, and attacked the right hand side.
And this is the corner of Murrayfield that Chris has always said is the most difficult for place kicking. Laidlaw off the right foot, it's a test up.
It's going to be a big kick.
What a kick.
Oh, it's
Has
beautiful.
the legs, not quite. Just
Ah,
well, he's not often beaten by a place kick, but that was just beyond him with a distance from out there. But Maitland's try, and Scotland 8 points in front.
Here's Greg Laidlaw's reaction to the call. He just hears it last minute, pivots, hits Hogg, who sets Maitland free. Really good heads up, clinical scan and decision making for Stuart Hogg, and a good score for Sean Maitland.
The change plan, Pablo Zeiss is on for Santiago Medrano in the front row, number 17. And Hogg.
conversion was missed, so it stays 14-6.
And Byron McGuigan has just been announced to the Murrayfield crowd. He is back on. So too is Sam Skinner. There is McGuigan. Scored for Sale last week against Saracens. And all sorts of changes. Alex Allen is on in the front row for Allendale. McGuigan on for Kinghorn. Quiet game for Kinghorn. Up against it today on the wing. There's advantage being played, and Argentina have the penalty. Garcia Bota is on as well in the front row for Argentina, and Martin Hanako is being brought back.
Offside from the check out from the line now. Read the number one. Multiple numbers offside.
This is a case of it.
Argentina going for 3 points.
Too quickly, being caught by assistant referee. This is an interesting decision for Argentina.
I mean, they're 8 points behind. This will at least bring them within a converted try. So,
Yes, it's just
personally, I go for the corner and try to go over the try line.
spills from the air to get.
Try and get those 5 points on the board.
Get this, they're going to be 5 points behind. Could make a case for going for the corner.
Sanchez and
Especially if he does
another
that.
one. And if you know you're kicking that
And he's
way,
missed.
it's just his timing is off today.
Again, an
That's
absolute
12 points
sitter.
have gone begging for Argentina now.
Yes, but fairly with a long range effort.
That's
I think it's
4
fair, this is
penalty
out for
kicks
Sanchez.
they've missed.
Do you do consultancy work?
So you were listening.
Look, I
That's
talked
good
to-
Sal Lacazette.
This is a game that has really... Argentina should
It's not a nice thing to do when you're missing, but
be ahead at this moment in time.
it's a wonderful
With the
ball
penalties
kick.
that they've had and how easy those kicks would have been for
Rodrigo Bruni
any
takes it in again.
kicker on form.
Ball for Argentina. Head towards the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, only one I'd say which would be a very difficult kick, and that was the 46-meter one in the first half.
Zeiss replacement prop.
But that's still 9 points gone begging.
Bar comes away with it, gives it on now to Russell. And an ooh from the crowd as they felt he was impeded late. McGuigan chasing this down. Sanchez is there. McGuigan just gets around his laces and hurled towards touch, and Sanchez manages to keep it in play somehow. And Matera. So again, the forwards asked to carry, but so close to their own try line.
Dangerous from Argentina. You gotta get that kicker. Get it clear.
They'll do the kick at a bit of an angle. Forwards again, they'll ask to do a bit, and once more is the captain, Matera. Sanchez waiting in the in-goal area, but it is Martin Landako, the scrum half, who picks Hogg, waits, and Hogg will not take a quick line out.
Well, that eventually was a very good exit from Argentina. Got the patience and the technique to fashion something from a very acute angle into a kickable angle.
That's a second in a row, steal in a row. We've seen the rip, isn't it? And then from the turnover, good play from Finn Russell to put the ball behind. I actually think Nicolas Sanchez was trying to get himself towards the touchline after the great chase from McGuigan.
He was desperately trying, they couldn't quite get there.
Never quite got there, but as you say, well managed and a good exit thereafter.
Because at what point do you say to your regular kicker, sorry, we're going to try someone else? Because it's only crushing for confidence.
That's pretty much an on-field decision between the guys who are out there.
Less than 10 minutes to go.
I would say it's your responsibility as a kicker to hand it over rather than somebody take it off you.
Sebastian Cancellieri is on for Del Di on the wing for Argentina, and once more on the ball. What can he make of it? Good charge from Guido Petti. Pop pass
Oh!
Boffelli, and Boffelli now looking around, and here is the support. And De La Fuente is there into the 22 in Argentina.
And he's knocked it on.
Boffelli on the loose ball, but went forward. Scotland will have the scrum despite this.
He knocked it on.
Well, I just
What
wonder what
a
would
bet.
happen if De La Fuente to step outside instead of in there.
I bet you a beautiful break by Argentina. Yep, he looks for support. He's got support.
He goes outside, the people who are naturally streaming on his right would have been a lot closer. As soon as he stepped back in, he ran into more traffic.
Yeah, Sam Skinner with a eventual tackle. Really good effort from the second row to get back. But Scotland actually do a good job of covering back. That's the Sanchez we know and we've expected. Really taking the ball line, creating space, putting players like Boffelli.
That's a missed opportunity again from Argentina.
Flood back on his right hand side makes it difficult for De La Fuente to go anywhere else. Good last ditch tackle from Skinner and Hogg, but it shows you how dangerous this Argentinian team can be. If that had gone, Boffelli would have scored.
Well, he's unlucky there because it wasn't stripped. He hit his boot, hit the boot of the Scotland tackler, sent it out.
Maitland and Boffelli.
Oh, what an idiot. Never cut back into defenders.
Scotland, although crucially because of the missed kicks from Sanchez and one from Boffelli, 8 points still the difference, so beyond the converted try, and only 7 minutes remaining.
Both sides. Let's square up, eh?
We can't say all the kicks were easy, and indeed, Andrew and Chris will probably confirm that no kicks are particularly easy. For a top-class goal kicker, some of them have been relatively straightforward, without distance and not from acute angles. And bearing in mind the 12 points left off the board there.
Yep.
Solid enough scrum at the moment, but no penalty to Argentina.
You have to go either for a scrum now, don't you?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Must be a scrum.
Not only because it's actually you've got both sides to attack.
Oh, well, they're going to take a shot. They know they need this and then a try, so
this makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's a stupid call.
Because right here,
why Argentina? You're literally 5 meters away from the try line and you're going for the kick.
Sanchez. And Argentina whittle away the lead.
But not only that, what time in the game have they got into that position? Well, that's the thing. To be a try scorer. If they were actually creating chances,
I can't believe it. 75 minutes.
From John Barclays, who watched this penalty, and well, it's in nervous moments, and certainly that now, John.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think Scotland be pretty relieved they took the 3 there, to be honest. It's a slightly strange decision based on the fact that they've not really got that close to the Scotland line this half, so you would have thought they would have taken their opportunity to take 7, but I was going to say the Scotland bench have made a huge impact. I think leading up to the try, the carries of Alex.
What can I say? Argentina, that was a stupid decision. You're 5 meters away from the try line.
A bit more energy in a game that has been a little bit one pace.
You've got the advantage in the scrum.
Sanchez just
You just got a penalty
5 minutes to go. 5
for the scrum.
That was a big decision in front of the post.
It was a stupid decision. It wasn't a big decision. It was an absolutely foolish decision. Now they gotta get the ball back off Scotland,
lob wide to Ritchie,
and they've got to get back into the 22 and get a converted try.
Hamish Watson.
Stupid decision. They could have just had the converted try and then be within drop goal at the end of the game. Stupid decision. Now Scotland are just going to slow the play down, keep the ball in Argentina's half, and that's it, game over.
And it's a Cancellieri taken down on halfway. But Argentina Racing forward, opportunity now.
Okay,
And
Argentina.
Bruni. And the flanker waiting for support, but dangerous times now for Scotland. And Sanchez gives it on.
I might actually eat my words by you.
And again, this time with a replacement second row, Alemano sets it back. Here is Sanchez again. And
Not
then the
wrong.
spill forward, and Scotland are spared one more time. They are living by, well, the skin of their teeth, Scotland.
Well, how many times is that? 3 or 4? Sometimes a result of poor ball retention, quite often a case of Scotland actually forcing a turnover.
Well, in the last few minutes, isn't it, we've seen how dangerous, and we've seen more line breaks in the last 2 or 3 minutes than any other time.
Yeah, this is like the most interesting the game's been.
Quality individual players who can find space. Sanchez is playing flat, and that ball was a poor pass to Matera, and it led Scotland off the hook. But still a threat there.
I mean, it's a good contest between the two of them because they're both making
Either with the
mistakes
inside ball or direct running,
that counteract each other, so it's a good contest. But
wide where Scotland have been effective in covering.
Well, Landajo's
Scotland, I think, have been better.
Bringing other players into the game and raising the intensity.
I would say Scotland have been better defensively, but Argentina have been brilliant in their line speed. Oh, Scotland have had the skill to get by it. So, yeah, I mean, attacking-wise, Scotland have been playing better. Defensive-wise, I gotta give it Argentina, who've been playing better. But it's so close between two.
Argentina put the shove on in the scrum, but Scotland, little chip from Russell and gambling onto it.
There we go.
McGuigan now, he too with a kick. Half charged down, but he regathers. Out to Watson. Set back by the open side. McAnally. Scotland looking to finish with aplomb here. Laidlaw points the way, and Bruni comes over trying to disrupt Scotland, slowing it down and going through the forwards now. Ryan Wilson. 2 minutes remaining of Scotland's autumn. Set back by Alex Dunbar this time. And Scotland just going through the forwards, and Gilchrist.
Slowing it down.
Russell. As it went to Ryan Wilson, had to take it with Matthias Orlando. Advantage to Scotland, penalty. It's kickable, it's an opportunity to put it beyond a converted try. I wonder if Scotland will try and finish with something special, or will they be clinical?
I think he'll take the opportunity, won't he? Or he'll try and take the opportunity to free it. I think Marco Juan Pablo's right, is a little bit unfortunate here.
There's no need to go for any flair right now. All you gotta do is kick a penalty. Boom. Game's over and done with. You got it in the bag.
A split second to make a decision whether you go in or out.
Here we go. Penalties conceded. Scotland have conceded 10. Argentina have conceded 7.
And it doesn't need a big release. It just needs a motion to the referee that you release with your hands. But it's certainly pretty hardly done by, I think. But 10.
Greg Laidlaw has been given a hurry up by Paul Williams. They were taking a lot of time over the decision, trying to eat away at the clock, and Paul Williams was having none of it. So,
well, he doesn't take a lot of time in his run-up. He takes him quickly, and he's got 90 seconds to play with. So he's as wise and as wily as ever, Greg Laidlaw.
41 metres out.
Complete victory for Scotland. He's given that absolutely everything. Is it going to get there? And just short. So Argentina try and run from the decks, and Sanchez now gives it out wide.
Argentina have been thrown a lifeline. We have just gone into overtime.
Only the distance which beat Laidlaw. De La Fuente.
The clock's red.
The clock was red, and Argentina still with some.
Argentina, if they knock on, it's game over. They lose the ball. Game over.
Landajo. And the Pumas looking for a miracle as Bruni takes it in. Only cries of Scotland around Murrayfield, but it's Argentina's ball still. Matera. have to run, they have to
Oh!
Mojano flings himself upon it. The winger's done well, but Argentina pegged back again.
Argentina!
Montoya carries for just a yard or two. They need far more, Argentina. There is Bruni. A bit of a standstill.
Argentina need a break.
He's the one
They need
final
a break
twist.
right now. The clock's red. They're 5 points behind.
Scotland with
They
the
need a break.
stout tackling in Argentina with no way through at the moment. Pegged back almost in their own line. Hoping for something magical. Sanchez took it in. Landajo gives it
They're
out.
on their 5 metre line.
10 phases and no ground made.
Sorry, 5 yard line.
An exercise in defence for Scotland. And then the spill and the loose ball will be an end to things now.
And that's it.
Scotland will have victory. Hard fought. They have just about survived here. They've scored the only try and they do end their autumn with a victory. So often their play in the past has been beautiful. Today was not pretty, but it is a victory for Townsend's men.
Well, it was all about defence for Scotland there to try and score on Sean Maitland. They worked really hard in defence, didn't have a lot of possession. There was one moment of brilliance in the game in the try, but you know, these games need managed, they need looked after, they need cool heads and calm heads.
Right.
And they had that in Greg Laidlaw this
That was a very scrappy, very kind of boring game until like the last 15 minutes or so. One try scored by Scotland. 14-9. Neither team outperformed the other, I'll say. Neither team played as well as they could. Argentina made a stupid decision towards the end. As you see, 75th minute, they got a penalty kick over. That was a very stupid decision. They should have gone for the 7 points and would have been within 1 point. And the possibility there that they could, you know, sneak a drop goal. Especially with the fact that just a couple of minutes later they were back in Scotland's half. But Scotland able to come through. Big defence from them. And yeah, you know, I mean, it was a bit of a scrappy game. And they're going to have to do a lot better in the Six Nations when it's raining, when the ball's a bit slippery. But it's a win for Scotland, and now I am going to check what's going on with the England-Australia game. I believe now I should have the New Zealand scores available as well. Yep, there it is. New Zealand versus Italy ended 3 points to Italy, 66 points to New Zealand. So they bounced straight back after that defeat against Ireland. They bounced straight back. But we're going to check the Australia-England score. And at this moment in time, England are leading 20 points to 13 against Australia. So, obviously, I'm going to be ending the stream right now, and I will be back at what time's kick-off for Wales? Let's have a look. I will be back at about 5:10, 5:15, just before the national anthems for Wales versus South Africa. That's going to be a big game. Going to be a good game, and hopefully Wales can win. But congrats Scotland, they ended their autumn test on a high. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with England now. So thanks to everyone who dropped by. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to drop a like. If you're new, also hit the subscribe button so you'll be knowing when I'm live streaming my reactions to the rugby games. And of course, we shall catch you in a little bit. So, let go.